Are you coming? Yeah, he's coming in?
Yeah.
All right, we got another chair.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the last one I put up, the 401k.
Okay. Yeah, we got another chair.
I'm a DJ.
Oh, you want to sit at the DJ chair?
Yeah, man.
All right, you can sit at the DJ chair.
I've been DJing in a long time, man. Long time.
Yeah.
With the DJ over there? Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah. Be on that, boy. Old school stuff. Back in the
I was
day.
messing around with the ones last week, but I can do a new one for everybody.
Okay.
I've learned the program better.
Okay, that'll work.
And what you got is this one. Is,
I seen that one.
no, but I'm making them a whole lot better.
That's what's up.
That last week I was doing it on the fly. So
Yeah, and I saw when they're talent on this, they saw his name.
yeah, I was messing with that for a little bit.
Yo, I was crying.
You want to? You can sign in Facebook, but
Your social media, yeah.
Yeah.
Let everybody know you're here tweeting, whatever you get.
Yeah, you can sign on.
How people can holler at you.
Let people know you're on the show.
22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it. 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 22 million black victims of America.
Welcome to the People Before Politics Radio Show. Welcome. People Before Politics Radio.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
Yep. We are here. 914-969-6499. 718-705-4959.
BlackWestchester.com presents People Before Politics. Real talk for the community. We got Damon K. Jones in the house.
Yep.
We got the lovely Cynthia Turnquest-Jones in the house.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
I am AJ Woodson in the place to be today. Finally, been MIA the last couple of months, a week. So
True indeed.
yes. We got a couple of guests in the house that we're going to introduce. We got Andre Wallace and we got my man Gary. What is
Heyward.
Hayward. There you go. Well, we're gonna start off how we always start off. What everybody do this week?
Who you talking
You
to?
want Damon to
Either
go
one.
first?
No,
Cynthia might
I know
need
you
to go
don't want
first.
me to go
Yeah.
first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, we might leave.
Yes,
we might need
please.
you to go first.
Okay, I'm gonna just tell y'all one thing I did.
Yeah, because you got it. You
Right,
you
'cause
got
I
a
get
busy.
myself in trouble, right? So I went on 4th Avenue in Mount Vernon
For real?
to put.
True
So
indeed.
I went on 4th Avenue in Mount Vernon to get a link put into one of my watches, a link taken out, and to get my jewelry clean.
Okay.
So, I rolled up in there, place that I haven't been on in years. So I get into the store, and I'm standing there. First thing I said that, wow, he don't even have a buzzer to get in. All right, no problem. So I'm standing there, and I had, my Tiffany jewelry. He's cleaning it. I'm talking to him, asking him how his business and things of that nature. And I see this dude walk in, right? And I was, you know, you could tell a character from the door. I said, look at this.
Yeah, one character recognized
Yeah,
another.
yeah. So I said, look at this cat right here, right? So I was like, ah, man. So he comes up and he comes behind me and he's standing over here. So I could only see like a little bit of him. And so then he was like, yo, put your hands up in the air. So I'm like, God.
What?
My whole heart is on the counter. I'm like, damn. And I just finished drawing my susu. You know what susu is, you know, partner.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of cash on me and everything. And I'm like, damn, man, I'm getting stuck up, right? And so, but I'm looking at the jeweler. So the jeweler is cleaning the jewelry store and just like looking at the man, like real cool. So I was like, and then he says, now I see him with a gun, right? So I'm like, yo. Then the dude says, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be held against you. Wait, I said, wait, hold on. This dude is crazy. So I turned around. I got enough courage. Turned around and looked at him. This cat got his hand out like this with a rubber band, right?
Yo, for real.
Got a rubber band sticker.
He had a rubber band. And then he was like, when I turned around and looked at him, he was like, put your hands up. I was like, what?
Amazing.
Yo, I got out of there. I am not going back ever again. Not even for the fish sandwiches on the corner.
And those some good sandwiches too.
Those
Those
are
are good sandwiches, yeah.
too. So that's what I did. Other than that,
Wow.
Well, actually, you gotta go back 2 weeks because we was off 1 week, right? This is our
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is our
yeah,
first week
yeah,
back.
yeah.
So you gotta go back 2 weeks.
I didn't get stuck up the other week.
It's our
But
first
I
week.
got honored.
Right, you got
Yes,
honored
you
at
got
the
honored.
women's-
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Shout out for the honor, yeah.
Once I find
Do your own
mouse,
claps.
we good.
That's how you. That's interesting.
Delayed reaction. There you
Yeah.
go.
All right, we got
There
the
you go.
clap.
Delayed reaction. There you go. Yeah, the mic has to behind the phone.
The Mount Honey Chambers. Shout out to Dwayne. Shout out to
Yes,
Jimmy.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
They
yes.
surprised
Friend of the
me.
show.
They, you know, from all the work that I do with our black and brown sisters and young sisters as well as mothers in the community. One of the things that I spoke about when I got on the mic was the fact that we talk about mothers who are not doing, but one of the things that we fail to realize is that those mothers were not mothered. They didn't have that example.
Right,
And
right.
so now what we need to do is we need to go out there and we need to hold them by their hand and guide them and lead them and things of that nature. And some may not want the guidance, but there's a lot of them out there who do want the guidance. They want somebody to stop this train wreck,
Right.
you know, and help me and guide me and tell me what to do. And there's a large lack of the big mamas, how they used to have, you know, big mama was in the house and big mama told you, you know, don't have your children coming out looking like that, and make sure that those children go to school, make sure that they learn their studies and things of that nature. And, you know,
Right.
there's a lack of that. And so the Brown Urban Mother Partnership that I started to help mothers, they wanted to recognize that. And that's what I've been doing in Money Earning Mount Vernon.
That's what's up. Yo,
That's
and,
what's
and, and big up to that because, you know, you hear a lot about the men who are not, you know, the boys. There's too many boys over the age of 21. And that's what you hear, you know, black, you know, the boys out there getting killed and everything.
Right.
Us brothers, that's what I commend Damon on. You know, we got to get at the boys the same way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to be, because the reason I'm not dead in jail because a bunch of older cats got at me when I was that age, you
Yep.
know. So if
Right.
the youth is out of control, it ain't them failing us, it's us failing them.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And so that's one of the things that I realize is that you know, when sitting down and talking to these mothers, that what lacked in their journey was what I was blessed with.
Right.
You know, the grandmothers, the aunts,
Right.
and the godmothers, and the mothers in the church,
Right.
and the mothers in the neighborhood where they said something.
I even had a
And-
security guard from
Right.
Mount Vernon. He used to come to my house when the guard, he'd be like, come on,
Hey.
dude, it's 3 days you ain't been to
Right.
school, man. Yo, what's going on? Like,
Right.
and I'm
You
talking
had-
about he used to ride the bike on his own time. Like,
Yeah.
because he
You had
cared.
The Girl Scout leaders, you had the Brownie leaders. There was just so many different things where there were women who were involved in my journey. And so I realized that these mothers right now, they are lacking that.
Right.
right? And so that's one of the things that I try
You got
to
babies raising babies
instill.
with no help.
That's right. That's right.
Damon K. Jones.
It was busy. It was busy.
Dapper Damon.
It was busy. Today's Easter Sunday.
Yes, yes. Happy Resurrection Day to
Happy
everybody.
Resurrection Day.
Happy Passover for those who celebrate
Yes,
Passover.
yes, and resurrect your mind. We here today because we trying to resurrect a lot of people's minds of what's going on in
Absolutely.
our communities and what's going on with our people. Black lives do matter, but in order for Black lives to matter, we have to step out of the box and truly address the issues and resurrect our minds to a different way of thinking, because our way of protesting has been hijacked, and we'll get into that in another day. But I was blessed these last 2 weeks to be honored by the National Association of Social Workers for the work that God has blessed me to do in the communities and speaking out for injustices to our people, not only in Westchester County but throughout New York and the rest of the country. It's a blessing, That award, like I told them, that award wasn't for me. It was for those who stood beside me and those who supported me over the years, and what God is blessing me to do now and what He has for me in the future. Like we was talking about with the kids, having the program with Boys to Men at
Cecil H. Parker Elementary School.
Cecil H. Parker Elementary School is very important. Everybody could go on YouTube, BLEA USA on YouTube, or Blacks in Law Enforcement of America YouTube channel, and watch the reaction of these young boys to the killing of Eric Gardner, and listen to what come out these 11 and 12-year-olds' mouth, understanding racism.
That was absolutely crazy.
Understanding racism at young boys at that age, and understand what they're doing to our young boys through what they call community policing, which is not. It's not community policing at all. So, doing that, in the rest of the week, I've been plotting. I've been plotting. I'm in a certain spirit today, so a lot of things is going on. We as a people, we gotta come together, because it's easy to take out one person if they're standing by themselves.
Absolutely.
But if we're all standing together and speaking truth to power, it's hard to take out a group. It's hard to take out an organization. It's hard to take out a community of people. I think people have been quiet for too long. Like I said, our leadership has been co-opted, and for us to live in one of the richest counties in the United States of America, and for us to have failing schools, and for us to have communities that are run down, for us to have legalized segregation, which the county exec has said he would not desegregate the county while he's county exec. And then we got black preachers building buildings to put more poor people in a poor community. So we have a lot of issues to really address in Westchester as black people, and it's relevant. It's going on throughout the rest of the country. Yeah. So I think we're celebrating the anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King, and if Martin Luther King was actually alive, he would be disgusted in these so-called leaders that claim him every birthday, assassination day, and Black History Month. Because if you read what Martin Luther King was trying to do the last year of his life, these preachers dropped the ball. Just like Bob Law said, they can't pass the baton because they never had it in the first place.
Right.
They never had the baton, because Martin Luther King was talking about economic development. He was talking about owning land and changing legislation. Michelle Alexander's book, The New Jim Crow, went over 40 years of legislation that had been passed from local to state and federal government, and we had black people in place. What have they done? You know, we had, you know, and I gotta say it, you know, when we had the forum, you know, we had a councilman stand up and blame the Republicans for what's going on
Right.
in a democratically run city. You got to be kidding me. You got to be really kidding me.
You gotta hold somebody.
Yeah, we got to stop falling for this political gang banging crap, because that's all they do. They just politically gang bang and blame each other. They're no different than the Bloods and Crips. That's why they wear red and blue. The Democrats and the Republicans.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura. I gotta give Jesse Ventura. Because I'm on the radio, Jesse Ventura. I'm gonna credit you 4 times. Then after
Jesse
that,
Ventura is the wrestler.
There was a wrestler,
He's a
yeah.
wrestler,
and
but
then,
he
and then
became
he
governor.
became governor of
He became
Minnesota,
governor.
Montana.
His
Yeah,
name was Jesse the Body.
yeah, Jesse the Body.
the
Ventura.
body.
Yeah,
Give
the
me
women,
body.
the women know the body part. Yeah, the men don't say the body; they just say Jesse Ventura. Like,
Jesse the Body.
Yeah.
But he makes a good point. I suggest everybody get that book.
Absolutely.
Democrats and Republicans, No More Gangs in Government. I think it's a beautiful book to understand where we are today, in the politics of the nation. And like I said at the meeting, if black people that are so-called Democrats can't run a 4x4 square mile of a city called Mount Vernon, New York, then no wonder Obama's catching so much hell in Capitol Hill and they disrespecting him. We got to understand our responsibility,
Absolutely.
not just to people in Mount Vernon, but to people of Westchester, the rest of the nation. Come on, we can't blame the Republicans. There's not one Republican in Mount Vernon City Hall.
City
But they want to
government,
blame, but they want to blame the Republicans. You got to be kidding me, really? We need to look and start being like Mike and look in the mirror, and really realize what's going on, because we're failing our children. That's why the children don't respect us.
47% graduation rate.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay right there, man. We're gonna move on, because I could talk. All
right, so we several of us were at the forum. Black Westchester hosted a community discussion forum on the state of Memorial Field, and I personally, I've been doing interviews with everybody at, behind, all the politicians and everything, trying to get the answers. And one of the things that struck me, the need to do this, they all blamed another one. You understand what I'm saying? Mayor Davis has things to say about Clinton Young, and the county. It was just a bunch of, so it's harder for the mayor to put all the blame on Clinton if he's sitting there right in his face. And it's harder for, you understand what I'm saying?
But he still did.
He did a little bit.
He still did.
He did a little bit, but not as much as he usually does.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So,
Right.
It still was a little bit of dancing around and still a little bit, it didn't get all the answers we really wanted, but it was a good beginning and holding their feet to the fire, and the residents would be able to ask some questions. And we're gonna follow that up. We're gonna show the video on Black Westchester. We're gonna put out a little 4-page newsletter, a little handout, to give everybody an update on what's going on, and we're gonna stay on top of Memorial Field. Yeah. So anyway,
what I liked about yesterday was that and anyone who came, they had an interest.
Right.
Whether good, bad, or ugly. And
Brother Rashad is just into the building.
That's the money, man.
That's the money, man. We're gonna talk about how broke we are as a people.
He gonna go over his latest article on Black Westchester.
Does he have $5 million?
Oh yeah, from Mount Vernon. Right.
That's money, man. We need $5 million.
Yeah, maybe Mayor Davis need to make you CEO of the nonprofit, so you can get him $5 million in 6 months.
What I liked was that that everyone there, they had questions. Everyone had a piece. Everyone in that room had a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Because there's a puzzle that's scattered all over the place.
Right.
And now the puzzle is coming together.
And you had young brothers like Malcolm Clark. Right. That was good to see him. Right.
Right. And so, after we finished, we went out and we had a bite to eat and things of that nature. And then got back in the car to go back home. And Andre called because he is still passionate, just as passionate as we are, as into not only just the answers. Because we can complain as much as we can complain. Right. We're looking for the solution.
Right. And again, I
Right.
like to say, that's a brother that's going after solutions. And I've said that on the last show. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? He's
Looking
working
for
on
the
solutions.
solution, want the solution. We want an end product. That is the bottom. That is the bottom line. Like I said before, one of my best friend's son has no clue what Memorial Field is. They live 2 blocks away from Memorial Field, and when he walks down the block, he said, "Well, what was that?"
Tell him a recycle plant. Recycle plant. We definitely.
It definitely don't look like the place that the Jackson 5 performed in
Right.
the 70s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the Jackson 5 had a concert in their heyday at Memorial, not at the county, at Memorial Field.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
I may have saw Jesse the Body at Memorial Field because
Oh,
they WWF.
Yeah, they were at the Memorial
Yes,
Field,
that's
right?
what I'm trying to
and,
tell you.
and people forget that Mean Joe Green commercial was shot in
That's
the
right.
in the
That's
in
right.
the
In the
tunnels.
hallway,
Yeah,
in the tunnel.
yeah.
Right.
You know what I find interesting about the whole thing, though, when we talk about it, is that yesterday we look at it and everybody says the next guy's plan don't work. First of all, you know, they said, well, we changed the plan because the plan didn't work. Well, this plan ain't working either because we need $5 million. And we're $5 million short.
Right.
And now
right.
we got to do a fundraiser and ask all the taxpayers and all the cities.
Well, he does have
citizens and
fundraising. It's called red light cameras and tickets. That's he's they ticketed everybody.
Well, you
They
know
ticket
what?
people are sitting at Target. I've gotten so many people that have called me, said they're actually sitting at the light at Target. One girl took her phone and shot from in her car of her sitting at, and she has a ticket for that day. She got a ticket later.
But when you get a ticket, when you get a camera ticket, they're supposed to show you the front and the back of you. So unless you show the front
Right.
and the back of me going
Right.
through it, then I'm good with it. I'm gonna pay it. But
Right.
if you don't show me, you got to show the front of the person going through it and the rear of the person going through.
Well, you know, and the second thing that they shortened the yellow light on purpose.
Yeah, so they could catch you on the camera.
So
It's a trick.
two things either happen. Either you jam on your brakes and the person behind you smashes into you, or you go through thinking you got time to go through, but you don't, and you get caught.
Or you might be
through the yellow.
dodging one of them big potholes. And
Oh,
you
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
just-
okay.
and you just got to get through the yellow light.
Yeah. It's a big crater.
I got one. I got one of the first tickets. I thought they were practicing on me. You know, I wasn't sure because I know I didn't run the light, but I got it.
Even Joe Parisi got a ticket. He got an editorial in the most recent Mount Vernon Inquirer.
That's right. We were comparing
he's heated.
tickets.
Yeah.
Right, but the question that I always had was, where did they place the red light tickets at? I mean, the red lights at? Where did they put the cameras at? In which areas of Mount Vernon are those cameras placed? Is it equally divided, or is it in certain?
It's in the black neighborhood. Let's
That's
be
all great
honest.
for you to say,
just-
brother.
just-
It took you
oh,
so long.
well, I gotta say.
It's not in the
so
middle.
long.
It's not in the middle of the black, but it's on the outskirts. Everything going into the black neighborhood in every
It took you
direction.
so
Yeah.
long.
You know, it's on the black neighborhood. Come on, we know what time it is. I mean, that's why places like Sue's can have over 600 and something
658
658
in a 4-year period.
police calls.
Police calls.
and not be shut down. Still have his liquor
Do they have
license.
a red light camera over there by Sue's Rendezvous?
No.
No.
Oh.
No, but that's a red light district.
Well,
They should have a red light camera, right?
No, but there was wasn't that originally the mayor originally had a plan to make that a red light district?
Yeah, they
They
were
were
open
gonna
up
put
more
a strip
so
club across the
imagine,
street. It was gonna be a strip club across the
What
street.
mayor is
Davis.
David. So
Davis was gonna turn that into a red light
just
district.
imagine if he had the yes people that he had.
Linden shut him down.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Linden,
Linden shut him down.
it would have been stripper alley.
Oh yeah.
Because
It was stripper alley.
another
They've
strip
been
club
dropping
across
like
the
it's
street.
hot
There was
everywhere.
gonna be another one across the street and another one down the block.
Well, Sue's at one time it was two Sue's rendezvous.
Actually, yeah.
It was the one where it is now. Then there was another one.
One church,
close to
two
the corner.
locations. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's Grace.
We'll see. I didn't say that.
That's Grace slogan. You can't use that.
That's that's not just great. That's national.
What,
all
one
churches-
church, two locations?
Yeah. Creflo, all of them got all them locations.
Well, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
bring Creflo in it.
But I'm saying they all use that though.
Did he
That-
get his plane?
No,
He
he
didn't
had
get
to
the
back.
plane yet?
Actually, he backed out. because he got too much negative.
No, he backed out.
No, he
Loud.
backed out. He backed
Out
out
loud.
advertising.
Publicly.
Yeah, but he's getting his
probably
plane.
It's 62 million, right?
Right, yeah.
Yo, what kind of plane costs 62?
I don't know, but
what is he?
but
What is he
I
getting?
just-
Like
I
Air
just-
Force One?
I don't know, but I
It's
know.
a private jet. He said
I know
he
I
needed
need
to
to
get
have
around.
that conversation with God where He tells me to tell everybody I know that they have to give me $300 so I can get the car. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to have that same conversation. I'm having the wrong conversations. That's all I know. So.
If I wake up,
you can't catch a ride with TD Jakes. I mean, no friends look out for each other.
if I wake up in the morning and say God
I
told
think Eddie
me
Long had 2 jets at one point.
to get a $62 million plane, nobody would believe me.
Nobody believes you now.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I think there's going to be some people going to bed, waking up tomorrow, saying God told him that he's going to get $5 million. And how about that one? And we going to get our field fixed.
Is this
Right. No,
Plan,
people-
is this a brand new plane or just like a lease?
This
No,
no,
brand
he actually
new.
said
Borrowed?
he actually said he actually said from the pulpit within the last month or something that God told him to ask
What is
everybody
wrong-
here
did
puts
he have a
if
plane
every-
already?
Yeah.
Probably
He had a plane already.
I'm sure he
Well,
did.
he
Yeah.
What's
new
wrong
one.
with it?
You need a new one.
They can't just renovate it inside.
It's not the new model. He had the 2000.
spray paint a little
He had the
bit on the
2012.
outside,
He needed the
keep it
2016 version. Yeah, he had the 2012. It's a little dated now.
With the leather
It
seats.
is, yeah. with the Louis Vuitton interior.
Exactly.
Nah. All right, so
Oh, wait
so
a minute,
moving
wait a
on.
minute, Cynthia, Brenda
Not the-
Crump,
not the Louis
Brenda
Vuitton
Crump,
material.
Brenda Crump, friend of our show. She said, you didn't post where we can make the comments, so she can make comments.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to figure out
Send it.
where do you usually post?
On Facebook, she usually puts one thing and then
Oh.
everybody comments to it.
All right.
See what
I'm
happened.
gonna-
So
tell
we
them what to
moving
put
on. We're gonna talk a little bit more. We got Andre in the house, and I think he has something that he wants to share.
Yeah, that's
going
gonna
to
be a little
At
later.
the end of the
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
and we'll probably recap a little bit on the Mount Vernon thing. But right now we have a guest.
Right,
Yeah.
we have another a former one of our guests who was here, Mike Orderberry, who serviced the community, and he was having issues with the raising of monies, and he went to Mount Vernon at one time to bring some positive stuff to the community, but you know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You gotta say
So
that to the
Mike-
mic so they can hear
Mike-
you. So we
no,
get it,
I-
yeah.
So Mike will be calling in also to just plug in on where he is right now.
That's
and,
what's up.
and how
Good,
things are going.
What's
good,
up?
and yeah.
So introduce our guest in the book.
Well,
Talk about-
which way are we gonna start? Are we gonna?
we're gonna talk about the book first. We're gonna get into the book.
Oh, well, go ahead, brother. You rocking
Okay.
it.
All I don't know much, so I can't do much justice. But I just know that there's a book out called "Corruption Officer" about a whole bunch of stuff that went down in Rikers, and this is the gentleman that wrote the book. That we're gonna let you tell your story right now.
All
We're
right,
gonna let you-
but before you jump in, it, as I say, as a correction officer for 25 years myself. No. Shit like that go on in the jail. All right, that's all I want to say. Shit like that go on in the jail. And look, I'm not knocking the brother because I've seen people do that, and I've saw the people leave out of briefing in cuffs. You understand? I've fingered federal agents as inmates walking around with the headphones and the little radio, and the radio is actually a mic. I know that it's real. You know, I think your book will shed light with what's actually going on, more things that's actually going on in jails, because we are not in the public eye like the police officers are. They do not understand what life is like in jails for the inmates or for the officers. You know, because we got to live in there, we got to do time in there.
And like one of your brothers said, y'all got to deal with everybody that we want off the street. Everybody
Right, we
that
gotta deal with.
we don't want to deal with.
Right,
They
we
got
gotta
to
deal
They
with.
got to deal with.
but I think it's a book that, you know, that all that crap Norman talking about. You know, Norman should just have a reality check and recognize that these things go on. And how do we solve it? You know, and how do we, some officers, how do we get them help? You know, I mean, if it's a union, you know, you need to get help. And part of it, you need to pay us some more goddamn money. Maybe we don't want to do. Maybe you ain't got to do all that if they pay us
and he need
money.
to protect his officers.
Yeah,
better.
I just wanted to say that. But
And he need to
brother,
protect his
welcome
officers.
to the show, man.
and I want to hear your story, and I just want to hear, what you've been through and what brought you to do what you did, and what else. And we know what was going on too. I read a little clip. They, female officers prostituting. It's crazy, man. But things like that go down.
Actually, I was telling Andre just real quick. I was telling Andre about it. He was like, because he was coming to the. Oh, I need to come and listen to the whole thing. I want to hear that. So he's sitting in on this whole show just so you can find out. But we want to give you an official people before
for politics round of applause. Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Introduce yourself. Talk about your book and just start from the beginning.
My name is Gary Heyward, and I'm a former Rikers Island Correction Officer. I worked there for approximately 10 years. And then I got involved with the underground contraband and corruption that goes on through the jail that you read in the paper. 2 Sundays ago, I was front page Sunday paper, which the reporter reportedly said I was a pimp.
Wow.
And I was prostituting, had female officers in there prostituting. I just want to say a little bit. I'm not here to advocate and be bragging about the things that I did, because I know I was doing wrong. But one of the many purposes of my book, like I heard you talking about the youth, is if they read it, because some of these youth walk around here and think jail is a badge of honor.
That's right.
And when they like doing a bid is nothing, and it's real serious. As I wrote in my book, I was with a young man who just got sentenced to 50 to life. Now, that's 50 to life. And I'm sitting there with him, and all he can think about is writing his rhymes for when his album come out.
Wait. So when you get 50 to life, is there a parole involved anywhere?
Parole in 50 years.
50 years. I just wanted to be clear on that. Like, he's not getting out of 10. Yeah. At
the time, he was 19. So I figured, about 70.
Oh, so he could be the 69-year-old rapper?
Yeah.
We need one of those. Yeah. That's what the world needs now. Yeah.
But what happened was, I was born and raised, right? My mama, I put it through a lot. When I got arrested, when I was on the front page, of the New York Post for what I did. And in jail, in prison, angered at myself at the humiliation I gave my family, black people as a whole, because I even wrote in my book, because there was a couple of brother correction officers who really wanted to lay hands and feet on me when I got locked up, but they talked to me and kind of schooled me about how I'm making black people as a whole, as officers, look. Right. So, I bear my, my cross. I know what I did, and I'm owning up to it. Right. So part of my redemption, I wrote this book in hopes it has many purposes. One of them is to mainly prevent people from going to jail. We hear stories, some people are familiar with jail, and amazingly I find out that a lot of people are not familiar with jail. Right. So this book enlightens you on both aspects, as an inmate and as an officer, the attitudes, the stuff that people go through. Now, I'm just going to keep it as honest as I can. A lot of people are angry.
That's the place to do that, yeah.
A lot of people are angry, mostly correction officers, a lot of people on the street saying that I'm dry snitching or dirty correction officers that are doing foul things behind the prison. I'm here to say that nobody can get in trouble, go to jail, be looked upon crazy if you're not doing the things that I talk about in this book.
Absolutely,
That's right.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely,
right.
So
absolutely.
you can look at me and you can say, oh, why you saying this? I'm telling my story.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're a correction officer out there and you know that you don't get involved with what I'm talking about, then you shouldn't have a problem with anything.
Right.
But they do.
Right.
A lot of people do.
Right.
I'm not, my people, some of my own people are the first ones that's throwing daggers at me.
Absolutely.
About me writing a book. The thing is, if I was worried about that, I wouldn't have wrote the book.
Right.
Sometimes a child, when you give him medicine, he don't know what's good for him until he gets cured. And my book is a reflection. Some people don't like what they see when they look in the mirror. Now, I'm not saying all correction officers do what I do. I'm not saying that. I'm not putting everybody in the same category. But I will say this. Out of the 75 or 65% of officers that are not corrupt, that does the job, I guarantee you within a 2 or 3 month period that you're on that job, you see it or you witness it. You might not be involved in it, you might not do anything, but you see an officer, you hear about an officer or something like that. Now, you may hold them in high regard, like, well, if you're an officer and you see another officer doing something corrupt, Should you have stopped them? Should you have did something? Well, that's that code of blue.
Right.
We talk about that with the police all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, we talk about it. It exists. It exists in corrections too.
So right now in corrections, I have a lot of correction officers. Like you mentioned, Norman Seabrook.
Right.
He's going around saying that he's disgusting and I'm
Disgrace-
exaggerating
right.
and stuff like that. Well, one of the incidents that I mentioned in my book is when an inmate pulled out a gun inside the jail and shot another inmate. On record, if you want to investigate it to see if I'm lying or whatever, me and Norman Seabrook were there together when that incident happened. So if you want to say things are exaggerated stuff like that, you can check it out for yourself.
It's true.
Hold on 1 second. How you get a gun in jail
How do you think?
as an inmate?
How do you?
And nobody's corrupt.
Right. How do you think things get in jail? Is either the civilians or is the correction officers?
Right.
I mean, it's simple. It's simple as that. I mean, we did even in Westchester County. We didn't go too far to have a gun, but we found bullets. We found bullets on the block.
Now, there wasn't even a cake or nothing with it, right?
No, they must have ate the cake. But when you do a self-search and you find bullets,
That's still-
obviously there's a gun somewhere because there's bullets.
Right.
You know, I mean, what the brother is saying, I mean, it's true, and you know, people should really, you know, understand that these things do happen.
What I want to do, I want to put my journalist hat on, like, and when I have an opportunity to talk to individuals like you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to hear about everything that happened. I want you to take us through, like, you know what I'm saying? You said, you know, you grew up, you know, writing everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you started working, what was that like? What was you going through? Take us through that journey when you got into this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what that transition.
Oh, absolutely. First of all, I'm a Marine Corps decorated war veteran, Saudi Arabia. So when I came home from the military, the only job I could get was a security guard job. I was looking, you know, taking these city tests. I took the police, corrections called me. So, you know, that was one of the happiest days of my life because from where I'm from Polo Ground Project in Harlem.
Okay.
And getting a city job, you know, sometimes it's like hitting lotto.
Yeah.
You do your 20 years, 25 years, you get your pension.
It's like
Get
sanitation.
up out of there, baby.
Yeah.
Cash
Even
you
you had a
out.
good sanitation job. You can you like,
Well,
yo.
you know, a lot of city jobs.
Right.
So I was real happy. You know, I was real motivated. Not gonna lie, scared because you know I heard about Rikers Island,
Right.
and even coming from fighting in the war, it's a little bit different when you're gonna be behind them bars.
Right,
and
right.
Nobody has a gun, supposedly.
Right.
You know,
Allegedly.
But so when I got the job, my main focus was to, you know, do right by my family, get out the hood, buy a house. My kids want to go to college, you know, health benefits. So I figured I was a made man.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'll talk about it more in detail in my book.
Right.
But now,
Like, I don't want you to tell the whole book, but I want you to talk through that
hey,
transition.
The book is
I want
already
you,
on sale. It's already out there. Some people already read it. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm a correction officer.
Right.
You know, and I went through the academy. Kind of confusing in the academy because the way I feel about the academy is like right now on Rikers Island, it's a lot of black and Hispanic officers. I'm not saying there's not no white officers,
Right.
but a lot of officers come from the 5 boroughs.
Right.
So one of the rules is called undue familiarity. That means that if my brother, mother, cousin, uncle has a felony, that I'm really not supposed to be associated with them or being around them.
That's right.
That's a blanket. That rule is.
Right.
So that's a rule that they can hold over every CO's head
That's right.
who has somebody, knows
That's right.
somebody, a friend of somebody who has a criminal past.
Right.
So going through the academy, there's a couple of rules and regulations that had me confused because I knew where I come from. Tojo and Nuck Nuck and people who raised me.
That's right.
You know, is all
Right.
is right there. So, you know, I'm a correction officer. I'm doing my job. And, you know, I see things because as soon as you walk in there, you're going to see somebody you grew up with, played
That's
ball
right.
with, went to
That's
high school
right.
with.
That's right.
That's going to say, oh, you're a familiar face. Either they scared or they're comfortable or they want to, you know, see if you can help them out in their situation.
Right.
Now, they know you ain't the judge and you can't change their sentence, but if you could give me something, go tell my mother something.
Right.
You know,
Right.
something. At the time, cigarettes were legal. They could buy cigarettes from the commissary.
Right.
So I will often see officers give their little house gangs or inmates that clean up around the area.
Give them free
So
cigarettes.
They'll give them a cigarette here, so it was no harm, no foul, because they could go and buy their own cigarettes from
Right.
the commissary if
Right.
they have money.
Right.
Then once Mayor Bloomberg put a ban on all city facilities
right.
from smoking,
Mm-hmm.
then that opened up the market because if I'm
Yeah.
an inmate and I've been smoking all my life, and now you tell me I got to go to jail and I can't smoke for the 5 or 10 years or whatever that I'm doing, then it's crazy. And I'll probably do anything to try to get me
That's right.
a cigarette.
Right.
That's right.
So I'm a correction officer. I'm doing my thing as a CO, living life. Women, sex inside the jail. I'm learning the ropes. I'm watching everybody, and I'm falling into how things are run around here. So I go through ugly divorce, which led into child support, and I don't know if anybody ever went through that.
Yes, sir.
And it was crazy because
I'm a card carrying member.
Hey.
Yeah.
me
too. Me too.
I'm not sitting here using divorce and child support as a reason
Right.
to do wrong,
Right,
because
right.
I know there's officers who had it worse than me and
Right.
didn't turn and do wrong.
Right.
Because, like I said, when you first walk into the jail as an officer, people gonna ask you. They don't care. You can get mad all you want to. Yo, can you bring me something?
Mm-hmm.
You can tell them no 100 times. Okay, you just mad today. Tomorrow I'm gonna ask you. and that's the way it is. Because listen, what I got to lose? I'm already in here, so you can be mad at me all you want to. But tomorrow you might be feeling a little tipsy, a little cooler. You might say, "Oh yeah, I get you that." And that's what they do. They have all day to sit here and plot to see if I can get you to bring something. Now, for the most part, I didn't jump right in and become a corrupt officer and start bringing things. I sat there and I watched and I heard and listened just like everybody else. And the temptation was always there. The opportunity was always there. It's just whether you're going to take it or not. So at first I didn't take it. I did my job. And then after going through divorce and child support garnished my wage garnishment, my car repoed and stuff like that, the opportunity was there. It was an inmate that I knew that had been there for a while, that I was comfortable with, and the first thing I started bringing in was cigarettes. Now, Tops Tobacco at the time was $2 in the local store. I could get $300 for a $2 pouch of Tops Tobacco, which the inmate will break down into little cigarettes called rollies, and he could get $20 to $50 for that.
Yeah.
So that's how it all started. And then when my paycheck one time, it was dwindling down. I mean, I remember I had $39 in my pocket. And when I started hustling, and I'm just being honest, I'm not saying it was right.
Right.
I made some bad decisions.
Right,
When I
right.
started hustling, my bills started getting paid. Things started coming up for me, and I didn't get caught. And it was easy because of the fact that I took that oath and my integrity, and the officer that's supposed to be watching anybody who comes in and out the jail. Basically, you're an officer, so why would I think that you're going to bring something inside the jail? Even though before I got the job, officers were getting busted, bringing in contraband, bringing in cigarettes and drugs and stuff like that. So that's how I got started, and then my journey just went from there from one thing to another. It just got crazy for me.
Okay. See, I wanted to hear, because some people, it's easy to judge someone, be like, yo, how can you do that? You know what I'm saying? I'm always interested. What was going through your mind? What was that process? You know what I'm saying? So I always want to hear that. So was there ever a point while you was in the middle of it and you knew you shouldn't be doing this, but the paper was kind of good to you, or yeah?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Some people idolize gangsters and dudes who sell drugs and make all kind of moves. My book is real. From my heart beating to walking in there to sweating, knowing I'm carrying drugs on me, to knowing that feeling that everybody already know you're doing it, and being nervous and envisioning my mother who raised me right, watching me do this craziness. All of that was in my book. All of that was in it. The apprehensiveness, everything. So it wasn't just like I was gangster, I'm going to cut this coke up and I'm going to run in here and I'm going to start running around. No, I took you step by step from my feelings to me knowing that it was wrong to it being good to me and paying bills and I can survive, to me escalating it to having like a mini little organization in there doing it for
See,
me.
that's what I was going to ask you. And also, I want to, keeping it real, what you stopped because you got caught. If you didn't get caught, would you think that you would have?
Honestly, it was an off and on thing. I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, it was an off and on thing. First, I was doing it all the time. Then I would stop periodically because after a while, child support kind of eased up a little bit, or I made top pay, because when you become an officer, you just don't jump into top pay.
Right.
So gradually you get to top pay, which still they was taking large chunks out of my pay, but I could kind of survive, because now, of course, you no longer have a car.
Caller, please hold. Go ahead.
You no longer have a car, and you no longer have the expenses, but you still have the garnishments and the bills and stuff that's piling up on you. So it was a time where I knew that I was wrong, and I stopped. And then when I needed, I did it again, and then I stopped.
And now let me ask you, now you stopped, right? And you needed to do it again. And because you got away with it, you know what I'm saying? You're like, well, you know what I'm saying? It was a little easier the second time, like, right? It was,
because the first time I did it, I swear, I was nervous, I was scared, and I just knew that as soon as I made this transaction, everybody's just going to jump out from all over the place and arrest me. So when that didn't happen, and you know,
when a day go by, then a week go by, then a month go by, you're like, yo.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, because I feel like we all have friends. I don't know about y'all. I'm not gonna say y'all do. I got friends and relatives and people who be on the street and who be selling drugs. Now, at the time, I never had a criminal past at all.
No, none of us.
None of us.
None of
You
us.
know,
We don't have anybody like that.
Look, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
But what I'm trying to say is,
we good law-abiding citizens from Mount Vernon. Yeah.
yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that we'll see our homeboy or friend that we grew up with selling drugs on the corner.
Right.
We know it's wrong. That's him.
Right.
I'm not selling drugs. I'm going about I'm doing my 9 to 5. I'm going about my business. If I see him, the Knicks suck, whatever, you know, whatever you want to talk about. But I'm gonna keep it moving. Right. Now he's selling drugs, but at the same time, we know his mother. We grew up with him. We went to school with him.
Right.
This and that. Nobody's gonna sit there and say, "I'm making a citizen's arrest. Grab him. Stop selling drugs." So as a person inside the jail, it was like double protection. Like, first of all, I'm not on the street. Second of all, I'm a law enforcement person. Who's going to suspect me?
We still got that caller?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No.
Go ahead. I just want to.
So, I mean,
before you go on, do you know Lorenzo Steele? Because he was a correction officer at Rikers also, and we had him on the show, and he also wrote a book. But he was from the point where he couldn't. He said his stomach used to hurt just being there, so he had to come out.
A lot of people have different reactions to jail.
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, I mean, it's not. Jail is not. It's not fun. It's not fun to work there. I mean, people act. You know, they glorify the police officers. They all this TV stuff. They got police officers. You know, and some of the shows that they got. It still doesn't tell, you know, how working in the jail plays on your psyche and your mentality, and you become more, you know, I mean, most of my friends said, you know, I've changed, but you have to keep that street attitude. You don't leave that because you need it to go to work. The same attitude you had when you was rolling with your crew on the block is the same type of attitude you gotta have working in that jail. That's why, and I hope some of my coworkers is listening, that's why some of these cats that come from corporate America, they get their ass whipped the first week, and they still getting their ass whipped 5 to 6 years later on the job. Because it's a certain mentality you gotta have when you're on the block and you got 60 to 70 inmates, and you gotta tell all 70 of them to lock in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're gonna have to listen to you.
And God forbid if some of them really know
No.
you,
know you from the street. Right.
You know, I know your sister and
Right.
So I heard you mention earlier about this law. Is it a law or a guideline or something like that where if you are a correction officer, is the same thing for the police officer?
For the police,
no, it's really you're not supposed to associate with any known felons.
Yeah.
But if you from the black community, let's be honest. If you from the black community, you know felons. When I got my first day on the job, I popped them gates. My whole crew came out. I'll be honest. I mean, it is what it is. This where you been all this time. Well, this where you been all this time. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, for black people, remember.
So how does that Is that a law? That's the
it's a department policy.
Yeah.
It's a policy.
It's
a policy. It's a policy. But see we're talking about, you know, white people, the Italians have it too. You
Yeah, 'cause
know,
they-
but see, they glorify. They call it the mobsters. Huh? They glorify that. You know, being down with the mob and all that. But that same rule applies to them. But they use it more to apply to the black officers to keep us from having the jobs.
Got you.
You understand? And then when you do get the job, they use that to fire us.
Yeah, I've seen officers just take a wedding picture.
We had a lawyer on here, his client, and I wrote a story about it. She got fired for posting a throwback Thursday of her and her boyfriend. Now, when she was dating the dude, he wasn't a felon. They broke up. He got into a fight. He stabbed somebody. They lived. He went to jail. He came out. She did a throwback. She wasn't a cop at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's a cop. You know, she didn't know him the whole time he was, you know, after he went to jail and everything. She posted a throwback
And they
Thursday.
fired her?
Well, that started the ball rolling. But now, she's got a $5 million lawsuit.
Well, look at Corey.
But it started because of Throwback Thursday, and what it was, the dude's new girlfriend went to the precinct and ratted her out on her day off.
Look at Corey Pegues, our friend of the show, who been on the show, who was a commander in one of the precincts, and he wrote a book from the streets to the beat, and he discussed in his book how he used to hang out with Supreme in them back in the day. Now they're investigating him. They took his gun. He's retired, and now they're open up because he discussed that in the book, and he discussed that he knew one of the cats that shot one of the cops back then with the Supreme team. That he knew him, not that he had any relationship.
They went
that
down.
he
They
knew
went
him.
down for RICO charges too, like 10 years. They went down for
Right.
major stuff.
They opened up an investigation on Corey, and it's still probably going on now. And they took his gun and they did all type of crazy stuff, and he's retired. So you know they do us. They use the rules for us, you know, any which way that they want to.
Yeah, that rule is always there. You be a good officer, you never get in trouble. You ain't got to worry about that rule. The minute you come in late,
You gotta roll it by the rules.
So let me. Okay, so you know you're doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? You're getting away with it in the whole nine.
So what?
Now-
Where
now-
were
wait,
you
now
at?
you
Like,
get
where
caught-
were you at? Where were you at in years? Did you start doing this like 2 years into the game, 3 years into the game?
about
after
3
sitting
years.
back,
It was about
watching?
3 years. It was about 3 years into. I can't give you an approximate date,
I got you.
but it was about
August
3
3rd,
years.
19. No.
No. I don't want that thing. I don't want that thing.
It was
a Friday.
I can tell you, it takes 5 years for an officer to reach top pay, and I had started doing it before I got to top pay because my paycheck wasn't. People, I don't know what people think officers make on the come in when you walk in as an officer. They don't give you $100,000 a year, and your credit ain't good.
That's
and
right.
all that
That's
stuff.
right.
Your house is already in Long Island. No, you still got them same bills and everything following you right there.
You need to come holler at people that go to college.
Well,
We go through the same thing, man. You know that, right? Did you know that?
I understand.
And a lot of people have a misconception about individuals who go to college. Like we come out and we are broke as a joke, especially if you had to get loans.
And they can't find a job in your
I just paid
field.
off my loan the other day. I ain't bring the letter with me. I'm bringing the letter next time. Read that out loud. You have no idea, man. So when they had them 99-cent parties on campus, there's a reason for that. Cause we struggling too.
Yeah.
So like I said, you got away with it. You went through, you know, the whole nine. When did you know it was coming down when you got caught? Did you see the signs and you didn't stop, or did you talk about that?
Let me just say this, and not to disrespect my people, because a lot of black people are law enforcement on Rikers Island. It's like I just got to be honest. It's like the hood.
Right.
People talk.
Right.
You know, I heard she dating this one or this one over here.
Yeah,
whatever.
man, it's crazy.
So, things started coming to me. Things started coming to me. You know, and I stopped.
Right.
I stopped. Things started coming to me, but little did I know I had stopped too late. They already had
Got you.
Wow.
So this
Yeah,
it was
by the
like
time
a
it-
bed.
yeah.
I just waited
They just
Right.
waited.
and waited, and I already stopped. I even got transferred to another
building.
another jail. But
Yeah.
this is what I want to put in my book for officers who are doing what I did. These inmates, even though I'm just gonna put it out there, I was fortunate enough to be dealing with inmates who really kept their mouth shut for a long period of time. Because during the course of the time that I was doing it, it was different inmates who I was dealing with, because an inmate really is not going to be on Rikers Island. Rikers Island is like a large county jail for New York City. So an inmate's not going to be there. Really, 2 years is the max he really supposed to be there, unless he got long money in his case and he really fighting and stuff like that. After 4 years, you're not going to see an inmate there on Rikers Island.
Right.
Now, during the course of the time that I was doing it, various different inmates, and I had the highest classification housing area because I was huge. I was a huge black man, and they used me just like that. You probably would have been. Yeah.
They used me too.
You know
Two-tone rotator cups and all that other stuff. Yeah, they used me too.
I had the highest classification house. Everybody who you saw in the paper for bodies or drugs came through my housing area. So a lot of them had money in the street. They did have money. So after a while, but you do have that one person who you say, well, I don't trust him. I'm not going to mess with him. But word is around the jail that this dude always got it.
Right.
How he always got it.
Right.
No problem, no search, no nothing. So people start putting it together. This is what I'm trying to say for officers who are doing it right there. Sooner or later, they're going to talk. They got to talk for status.
Right.
Like I got this CO over here. I can get it. I got you. I can get whatever I want from you. And other inmates going to be like, yeah, cool. But they still clicking like, okay, maybe I can go around and get to that officer to get me something. So if that officer don't deal with them, then that's when it starts spreading all around the jail. And I'm just saying that it took them a while to get a hold of me or get wind of me, but this is how one of the ways why I have it. Inmates talk.
That's right.
Inmates talk, and it's even doubly bad for the females, because even though you got females in there sexing and doing stuff with inmates and stuff like that, it's nothing bigger for an inmate to say that he has sex with a female correction.
That's right.
Now, be like, yeah, you're lying. But lately, when I was there, inmate had a picture of a female correction officer he was dating and stuff like that, and I saw it for myself. Because like they found out about me, I found out about them.
Right.
You know?
Right. It's true. That's it. It happens. It is what it is.
So now, talk about your mind frame. Now, they got you. And now, did you get locked up in Rikers?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
No.
So you asked me, did I know it was coming down?
Right.
What happened was, I went into work one day, and they placed me on modified duty.
Okay.
They took my gun and my shield, and that's when I knew it's like, okay, like you said, you keep your street mentality. Whatever I did, I'm taking it to the grave. You're gonna have to really get the blood on my hands with the gun and everything. So, and they had that. they had that. They modified me for about 3 months and had me sit there because, unbeknownst to me, it was like a big operation to sting. They just didn't want the dude standing on the corner. They wanted
they wanted the kingpin.
They wanted the kingpin, which I didn't know who the kingpin was because I was by myself. But at the time when they brought me in, they picked me up from where I was living at, and they brought me to a place, and they sat me down, and me sitting there, keeping my mouth shut and everything. And what they did was they showed me a video of me meeting and doing a drug transaction out in the street. Like I was meeting somebody for an inmate, picking up a product, and then I took that product to the inmate, and that was the inmate that was snitching on me, and they were all working together.
Oh, wow.
So that's how that went down. And I'm sitting there, and they showing me on the screen doing these things, and the process is they showing me over here me. They got the camera over here on me, so even if I don't say nothing,
they're watching the reaction.
They're watching me shot on myself.
Right.
Yo, they got me. So after that, they placed me on the arrest and got a lawyer and stuff like that. But me knowing already that I had did wrong, I just didn't know how it was going to play out. We all repent, and we all could do it over again. We wouldn't have done it. People ask you right now, oh, you only wrote the book because you got caught. Yeah. Yes, I wrote the book because I got caught. I can't help that. I'm not going to sit and tell you, oh, no.
Right.
I would have stopped.
I was right all along.
No, I was wrong. God has a way of getting your attention.
Yes.
So you don't forget. So he got my attention. I got caught, and I wrote this book for many reasons. if you want to be a correction officer, check it out. If I doubt it, because what's happening right now with correction officers, they're like, we're not going to support you. You're crap. You disrespect the badge. You're a bum. I'm not going to buy your book. But somebody walk up to him and say, yo, you know he's talking about you in the book. Now they're angry because I was talking about you in the book, but you didn't read the book to see what it really was about.
Right.
So you don't want to take the time to read it, but you want to get mad about what you think is in it.
Right.
So I can't help you there. I'm going to let somebody else who read it tell you about what it is. Now, am I diming out correction officers? That's you as a correction officer. If you read my book and say, I don't do any of the things that this gentleman did or this person did, cool. That's you. But if you know, and I know you know, some of the things that are familiar to you that I wrote about, then maybe you'll stop, because you really don't have to do the job that way. Because my book ain't all about just bringing drugs inside the jail. It's about how certain correction officers do the job. And some of the stuff is really, really unnecessary. Some of the power, some of them really think they're God in that jail. And I hate to say it, the stuff that correction officers get away with, sometimes they are. And that's what I'm trying to project to the youth and people who go in there. Like your life is really in their hand anytime they see fit to do something crazy. We'll worry about the investigation later, whether I get caught. But I'm going to do it to you right now. And that's what I want them to know.
What I find funny about that, too, is somebody to say, did you write the book because you got caught? If you ain't get caught, you ain't going to write the book. What you going to do? You're going to write a different book and say the things I did that I didn't get caught for? That would have been the title of the book, and then you would have got caught?
Right.
I don't get it. Amazing.
But I just say for any correction officer that's really upset about my book, because they're upset about the portrayal, that if you're a CO and I'm a CO, they're going to think that I was doing the same thing that you did.
Right.
Well, I equate that to like some women be in bad relationships. They say all men are dogs. If I don't know this lady, I never have relations with this lady. Maybe that's her experience.
Right.
That's not me. So I know I'm not a dog.
Right.
She has a right to voice her opinion.
Right.
So this is my opinion.
Right.
I feel as though when I got caught and they put me in a paper and they said what I went down for and they told my story about my life, cool. That's what y'all felt happened. Now I'm telling my story so don't be upset because I'm telling my story. You told my story. Now let me tell you what really happened.
No doubt. So tell everybody where they can get the book. Any last words that you want to tell about the book that you didn't say that I didn't ask you or anything?
Well, this book is going to make you laugh unbelievably. It's going to make you cry, and you're definitely going to be mad about a lot of things in the system, because a lot of people, like, I read the new Jim Crow, you know, and a lot of people think jail is modern day slavery. And when I became an inmate, I felt that presence because they had me. I felt like I was in the field picking cotton when I was in Oneida County. You know, even though my crime was self-inflicted, and I can't blame nobody but myself.
Right.
But I can see when people can equate that to that. You know, only thing I can say is that slaves didn't have a choice. Criminals and people who do things wrong have a choice to be wrong.
Absolutely.
That's right.
You know, and so the book is available right now. You go to Barnes & Noble. It's on Amazon.com. Go get it. Be enlightened. You know, love me or hate me, but you will learn something.
Is your book self-published?
At first, I self-published my book in 2011. Funny you should ask that, because in my book, when you ask me how can things be, how can we stop things from happening, I put in my book 5 steps that can possibly help jail stop officers from bringing in contraband. And I put that in there in 2011, and recently they used a couple of them to catch 12 officers doing what I did.
Wow.
Now, I'm not sitting here so they could give me props or praise, but what I'm trying to say, if you were an officer or if you was anybody who wanted to know, if you had read my book and maybe you were doing it, maybe you wasn't doing it, you know, maybe it could have helped you change or sway your decision. That's all I'm saying. So the book is there for enlightenment. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like my person or what I did.
Absolutely.
I paid my price. I did my time. You know, nobody's judge, jury, and executioner. I'm no longer an inmate, so you can't talk to me and treat me like I'm an inmate.
Right.
But the book is there. You don't have to like the book, but you will hear about it.
Absolutely.
So you self-published in 2011, and then what happened?
I went to the Book Expo of America, Jacob Javits Center, where a person from Simon & Schuster Simon and Schuster. Read my book, got my book from that event, and from there they took me to Simon and Schuster, and they loved it. They loved the way I wrote it, the talent that I displayed, and they published it.
Wow, God bless you.
Clap it up.
Clap it up. Yeah,
Clap it
you
up.
gotta clap it up.
Get the claps on, man.
I think everybody, I think whether you're a correction officer or whether you're now a correction officer, I think everybody should read the book, the experience that this brother has on both sides.
Absolutely.
And even just tell him what correction officers go through and the mentality that correction officers have. I mean, same thing goes on in the police department. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, the same thing goes on in the sheriff's department. Same thing goes
on for years.
in state troopers and whatever law enforcement agency that you belong in. They are the good and bad. But one thing is with correction officers is that we're the unseen. Nobody knows. Mm-hmm. I mean, I even these TV shows do not give it even. It's just glorified TV. It doesn't give the real actual nitty gritty of the everyday life that you have to live in there. And I really and I thank you, brother, for writing that book and having the courage to tell your story.
Absolutely.
And so these young brothers, whether they're correction officers or just brothers on the street, can understand what real jailing is about. Real jailing is about, because these young officers still don't get it, and that's why they're getting their ass whipped every day up there.
So are you going around and speaking to the
That's
youth
what
and
I was
things of
gonna
that
ask.
nature?
I want you to talk about the now,
always.
yeah.
Every chance I get, I go to youth centers.
Great.
Some churches. But what I'm trying to do, but I mean, it might be a long shot because of my offense, because of who I was. I would love to go to these correction academies.
Wow.
To talk to these recruits, but the overwhelming hate for what I did, which I understand. I'm not telling. Nope. Everybody has the right to feel how they feel, but I know I can do good if I can sit there and talk to somebody straight up and say, "I was where you was at."
Right.
And I sat in that chair, because when I sat in that chair, they told females, like, out of 25 y'all here, one of y'all, some of y'all gonna sleep with inmates. And all the females are looking like, I know I'm not gonna do it. I'm going, and
Right.
years later,
Right.
some of them did.
But see, for
And
those,
so do you feel as though that if there was a correction officer who was a female who was sitting in that chair and did what they said that was going to be done and got penalized for it, if she sat there and she said, listen, the brother's right, this is what happened to me, that would change the outcome?
I'm okay.
It depends on the individual, probably.
It's how
Some people just gonna go. They were gonna do what they were gonna do anyway.
Probably, but it
yeah,
would
some
help,
of them,
though.
some of them just gonna just get it in.
Because
No, but see, right, which is
Just
true.
go
But at the
get
same
it.
time, individuals don't believe unless you see.
Actually,
Right.
and what I like about that, you know what? Anybody can tell you something, but at some point they'd be like, "Yo, this cat don't know what I've been through." They can't say that about you. Like you've been there, you've seen
On
it, you
both
went
sides.
through it. So you know what I'm saying. So you have that. It's like I can only have but so much of a conversation about somebody who's been really heavily in drugs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell them not to do it, but I've never had that bad. You know what I'm saying. So at some point I can't relate to them. You know what I mean? But when you got that experience, that shared experience, they feel you because it's real and they know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I try to reach out. Like, the youth nowadays is, like, I'm 47, so I'm cut from a different cloth than,
Absolutely.
than what I'm seeing
Absolutely.
out here right now. But when I see, because there's a lot of cats can't say nothing to me because I've seen you inside there. As always, I've seen you asking me to relay something to your people. I've seen you under pressure. I've moved you out of dangerous areas because somebody's trying to do something to you. And now I see you walking around here with your pants sagging, acting crazy in the street like that never happened. That wasn't you in there. But when you look at me, you know, I'm cool, so you ain't got to put your head down, family. I'm not going to blow you up, but you need to let people know what happened. I seen 550 million tough Tonys walk through there, and you're not so tough.
Right.
Now, I know it sounds cliche and it's corny, and some kid is like, that's not going to happen to me. It can happen to you, son.
No doubt. We're going to get to this caller real quick. Caller, People Before Politics Radio, state your name and your question, please.
Wait, Lee.
Hello?
Ain't no question. I'm calling in to say what's up to my boy.
Well,
Are you calling for the rap, or are you calling for the politics?
Oh, I'm calling for the rap. That's all.
Oh no.
yeah, that was about
They already left.
yeah, that was about an hour ago, my brother. About an hour and a half ago.
There's people,
All right,
there's
all right,
people
all
for
right.
politics, bro.
It's a different show, man. But thanks for calling, man.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you for calling in.
All right, no doubt, no doubt.
All right.
All right, so closing it out, like, is there website, like somebody, what I want to say.
How can they reach you?
Yeah, but also what I want to say, also keep on the path that you're on, because even though you're not getting that love now, like to be able to get into there, it'll take that one person who got vision. You know what I'm saying? Who can see that to make that happen, to bring you into those.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's the lack of vision of leadership in these correctional facilities that are not looking at what went down in your life to come before these young fresh minds, because where I work at Westchester County, we're going in a transition where a lot of us, like 300 officers this year, will be eligible to retire. So they're hiring a bunch, and they're babies. I started at 21, so I'm looking at cats 21, 22, and they're babies. They need to hear your story. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're assholes that are older officers that can get them into what you just went through. See, and people don't want to talk about that. We don't want to have that type of discussion.
Right.
But I really think, commissioners or people that's in charge of training need to have you come and talk to the academy. If anything, it would be a scared straight for the officers.
I was gonna say,
to get right.
They did it with scared straight. That's what I said. They did it with the scared straight.
Right.
Thing.
If you wasn't right, or you had a little crooked bone in your body after they hear your story, they'll get right, because
most some of them, then there's them still that.
Yeah, because
1%.
there's some that do things and they get scared into doing it by the inmates that's on the block.
Right.
But I think if you change the tactics up, then
Call
the
a
norm,
Right.
then I think it can slow down.
Right.
It can
Absolutely.
slow down.
Of course.
We got another caller. We're gonna get caller. You on People Before Politics? State your name and your question, please.
This is Michael Waterbury. I'm calling in to talk about my program. I spoke to Cindy.
Right. Yo, one question. I'm just gonna have my man give you a website and everything before.
Yeah, hold on, Mike. We're finishing out one interview.
Hold on 1 second.
Well, you can contact me at GaryHeyward155@yahoo.com. The website is not up yet, but it's going to be HeywardPublications.com.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, and you said you're on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
The book is on Amazon and in Barnes and Noble stores.
Great.
Worldwide, everywhere.
Yeah, people get that book.
That's
People
Gary
get that book.
Heyward155 at what?
Yahoo.com.
Thank you.
No
And we'll
doubt,
make
no
sure
doubt.
Yeah,
we-
and
and
if
we'll
you
make
Google,
sure we
you Google
post it.
his name, and it goes straight to Amazon. I went through all of that while we was
And
on
actually,
air.
the piece I wrote on the site, if you click the link, I got a link to Amazon. Actually,
Okay,
if
I
you
appreciate that.
click on the cover, it takes you right to
Okay,
Amazon.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thanks for
I got a
coming,
picture of
brother. I
Norman-
definitely
I got a
appreciate
picture
it.
of Norman being outraged about your book.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Over the course of the years, dozens of officers have been caught, and Norman says the same thing. I'm outraged. I'm outraged.
Right.
I mean, when you gonna be enraged and do something about it?
Right.
So that's
right.
always just I'm outraged.
Well,
Right.
I just want to personally thank you for standing up. Like, it would be easy for you to just retreat right now, you know what I'm saying, not want to be, put that out there, you know what I'm saying, and not, share your experience, that takes something to do that. So, and we need that, you know what I'm saying, we need more brothers to step up and do that. So I applaud what you're doing, and I tell everybody, I encourage everybody to support the book, and them, who would it be, the leadership to get on that and bringing him in.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say something when I catch them up at Valhalla, because they got a lot of classes coming in, and I'm gonna say something to one of the deputy commissioners, and run it by her and see what she thinks, because I really think it's a good idea for you to talk to the academy. I really
I'm willing.
do. Okay,
I'm
great,
willing.
brother. Great.
If they'll listen, I'll talk to them all day.
Yeah.
So thank y'all for having me.
Yeah,
I
thank
doing
you,
what you're
brother.
doing,
Thank
bro.
you,
Give a
man.
round of applause.
God bless
Right.
you, brother. Yes, sir.
All right, y'all take it easy now.
All right. Let me get my man. You don't have to break out. No.
Yeah, you can hang out if you want to.
Yeah, you can hang
We
out.
going.
No, you can hang out.
No, don't you?
We just wanted to move him.
I
Just sit back down.
when I do,
They be like, you gotta go.
no, but normally when I do it, they be like, okay, look,
No. This you
can
good,
hang out,
you
man.
good. We just want to move to the next segment.
Yeah,
though.
we gotta move to the next segment.
Right.
So we got Cynthia. I'm gonna let you.
We got Mike Orderberry. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, son?
So
Welcome
Mike
back,
Orderberry,
welcome
yeah,
back,
Yeah,
welcome
back,
back.
Mike was on the air earlier. One of the things we like to do, we like to also bring our friends on the air. I don't know if y'all know this, but Damon and I go back a very long time. And then after
That's why
I
y'all
left
used to
the
get
college
co-
with Damon,
that's
we
why y'all used to get in trouble in
all the
school.
time. and after I left that college and I went to Iona College, I met Mike Orderberry. And so he's been on this long journey to reach out to children and build them with peace. So Mike, talk to the individuals about your program and then also let them know about what's going on monetary wise. And you got like 5 minutes. Go, Mike.
Okay, I got 5 minutes. So, bottom line is, 7 years ago, I hit the pavement with a program that I developed that really helps young people to peel back the layers and get to know who they are as individuals. I go into schools and I train about 25 students at a time. But, what we talk about is when we train these young people, the 25 that we train are not the destination, they're just a transportation to continue to take on our message. So the more kids we get to train, the more the message is able to go throughout the buildings. What's happened is over this last 7 years, I was receiving some money from a very, very, very generous philanthropist, and she passed away. So this is the first year that we're going into work, and we've lost this funding from this philanthropist. What's crazy is, with the grant world, which I'm finding out now, is that if you don't have money, you can't get money. So we're applying for grants, and as we apply for grants, if you don't have money, they're not willing to give you money in a grant to continue to do your work. So at this moment, we're doing a GoFundMe campaign, and they can go to SaveYVC.com. Again, that's SaveYVC.com, and they can donate to Youth Voices Center, which is under the Power of Peace program, is underneath the Youth Voices Center. But the bottom line is, if we don't get our funding together, it looks like we're going to have to close our doors. And now this is not a program that's just like grassroots. I mean, I'm in the 7 different high schools in Westchester. I'm in some schools upstate. Over the 7 years that I had this money from the philanthropist, I was able to deliver my program to schools free of charge. So all these schools I've gone back to, and some have agreed to put me in their budgets, but the program has to continue to go on until September. I can't wait till September for these schools to put me in their budgets. So we just really trying to get the word out. The work that we do, they can go to my website and see some of the work that we do. The website is youthvoicescenter.org. And see some of the work we do, but we're out there changing these young people's lives, but you can't do it without funds.
So, Mike, you currently raised $6,600, right?
But as of tonight, we actually made it $7,000 in 3 days.
Right.
Very
Yeah.
nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Clap that up, man.
That's what's up.
So that's
www.youthvoicecenter.org. That's the website to the nonprofit. But if they want to donate funds, they can go to SaveYVC.com.
All right. All right, Mike. So we really want to thank you for all that you do for the community.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
I already posted it up. I'm gonna also make sure, like I told you on the inbox, that that AJ put something on Black Westchester about it, and make sure that individuals start contributing. And it's good to know, because I think yesterday when I looked, it was you had 6,600, and as of tonight you have 7,000. So people are contributing to know how powerful it is, and how much needed power of peace that you're building with our students here in Westchester County. So we appreciate you calling in
I'm gonna get your number from Sid, and I'm gonna call you and try to do something with you this week, and then I'll help share it through our various social media. You know what I'm saying, to help get the word, help to get the word out a little bit.
All right, sounds good, AJ.
No doubt.
Definitely, and I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it because
Thank you, brother.
we gotta stick together. You know what I'm saying? And,
well, we gotta support those that's out there doing. That's the problem.
That's right.
It's not that you doing this and I'm not involved. We all in this. We got you got to keep doing what you're doing. We all got to do our part. So we got to support each other. You know what I'm saying? So,
All right, Mike.
Okay.
So thank you so much for calling, brother.
All right, thank you, Cindy.
All right, peace.
Bye.
All right, now let's talk about how broke we are.
Right. So we're gonna change lanes a little bit. We got we put the mic back.
Let's talk
on.
about how you got to change that. He's too light to have that background, brother. You got to change that. You can't even see him. You got to give him something a little dark, man.
That's Cruz set that side up. I can't. Cruz set the shot up. And he got the light on him too.
He can't have that background, man.
Halo.
Right, he resurrected today.
The money goes. What's up, man?
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm trying to.
It's the money man, Rashad Bilal. What's up, my brother, Rashad Bilal, man?
What's going on? Glad to be back.
Oh, I gotta go on the damn site. I forgot the title of the article. What's the title of the article?
401k, right?
401k.
Yeah, 401ks. Yeah, definitely for all the people. Just definitely, we got Rashad Bilal. He's gonna talk about 401ks
My bad.
and why we need to save money.
Okay. Yeah. So, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first off, glad to be back with you guys. I think it was like a couple months ago actually.
Yeah.
Because we try to have you on once a month, and that's what I was like, you hadn't been there for a while. And then I hadn't run the article. That's why I said we gotta get you up there.
Yeah. So, the article obviously is about 401ks and saving for your retirement. But I think it's it's an interesting time as far as just finances. A lot of stuff that's come out. I don't know if you followed the Dame Dash thing, the interview that he gave.
No.
You heard about that?
Yeah, talk.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Well, it caused a lot of controversy. He was on the Breakfast Club, and he was pretty much talking about entrepreneurship and African American Black people community, and how we need to take more pride in economics as far as like doing for ourselves and ownership and stuff. And I guess he kind of rubbed people the wrong way. He's kind of a direct person, and he made comments about people that have regular jobs, and I think it got taken out of context a little bit. But the general gist of what he was saying, I think, was completely accurate. That a lot of times we don't really even think in those terms as far as economic, equality, as far as fighting for that. Like we'll fight for voter rights or we'll fight for other rights, but we don't fight for economic rights. And a lot of it just comes down to education and just knowing different possibilities and what's out there and how to take advantage of different things. So yeah, the 401k article, that was just about that most jobs have some form of retirement plan, and you always want to put money aside for later on in life. And a lot of times, unfortunately, when I say we as a community, we don't really take advantage fully because we don't really understand it. We're not knowledgeable. We're kind of out of the dark, and then our children as a result kind of following the same footsteps, and it's just an ongoing cycle. So the more information.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised.
How do we get more young people?
The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet. You will not be able to stay home, brother.
They should know, like you said, Damon.
You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother.
Yeah, so just
there will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim.
You can get a city job. You know, take the test, you can get a city job as long as you're honest with what you did.
You gotta be honest.
Because, you know, I rolled my pension over, God bless my deferred comp, and I'm in there. So I know what you mean. Especially I try to talk to the youth, because a lot of them look at some sanitation jobs and some, you know, jobs that are less admirable as a law enforcement or a fireman, something like that, and they don't want
Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet. You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised.
Well, it's because I'm diversifying.
There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on the court from 29 District. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on the rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he had been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet. You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised.
You know, and I understand what Damon Dash was talking about with that interview. It was more or less like go to school, go to college, get out of college, and get a business, and then run your business and hire more people.
Oh, you saw the interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about understanding how we need to become more of an economic strength and
without a
power
doubt.
in the community. And see what I'm looking at too is finding the people to come together. Okay, because when you come together and you put those finances together with the education, okay, we should be able to own our own community.
That's
we should
right.
be able to build all our own stuff. We should be able to do everything that we want to do ourselves and not have to ask anybody.
Right.
But we're limiting ourselves a lot of time with just what people say we should have rather than what we need for ourselves. You know, and I always tell people knowledge is not what you know. Knowledge is what you are.
Right.
So what we have to do is start to create that in a bigger way, more grand way, come together, okay? And then we can make a huge difference. And I guarantee it changed everybody's lives because at the end of the day, a 401 is good to have. And I'm not saying anything, but I would still like to have all my stocks and bonds as well. That is going to give you, you know.
This was his monthly, the 401 was his, he did the stock thing like the last time. So he's, every time
once
he gives,
a month.
he
Once
gives
a
a
month
different,
he does it.
a different angle. But
but he's right because I always, even because my profession, I'm a financial planner. So I always, when I sit down with clients, I always tell them that the 401k is the most sexiest investment. That's what that's like the number one investment that people know.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you sign up for a job, you hear about a 401k.
Right.
But like you said, outside of that, people have no idea about anything else.
And that's what they need to know because
Right.
401's going to get, the 401 is like the average thing. Like saying, okay, here come the number 7 train. You know what I mean?
Right.
We all know the number 7 train is coming and where it's going to stop.
Right.
Okay, but they don't get into what about the A train, the D train. and
Right,
all that
right.
stuff. You know, the Count Basie done told us about the A train, but we ain't listening. Let's take a ride on that. You know, try something different. Look at all these different things.
yeah.
Right.
And it's a good brother.
He's
He's doing a lot of programs in Mount Vernon. Like he got the developers to come build in there, and then got them to hire Mount Vernon residents, and then he's training them.
Okay.
You know, so he got a lot of
Then talk
programs.
about it. Come on.
He got a lot of
No,
programs.
we
We're about to get into him next.
We ready to get into Andre next,
Yeah,
man.
we're going to let you.
Yeah,
We're
wanna
gonna finish with the money man though.
Right,
because
right.
We need to get together after this.
Yes.
And put together a forum again that you
That's it.
guys should host.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And then we have places to do it, and then we should invite all the youth and other people in here to come listen and learn. You know, because I'll tell you right now, if we can teach them those kind of things and how, because
Because even if you give them jobs, now and you give them money, they might not know how to keep it. So you got to keep
exactly.
Now, what do I do with it now that I got it? Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. NBA players and some of them, after 5 years after they get out, they broke.
Right.
That's right.
They're broke, and they're talking about millions of dollars in contracts. You're making $5 million a year,
And that's because they
And
were
like
told to be
it's
educated
sad.
when they first came in. And anything, you need to be educated when you first come in.
Exactly.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
And,
you know?
and most of the time, people in general, no matter what race you are, follow examples of other people that they
Absolutely.
have around them. So
Absolutely.
That's
If your
right.
parents never
That's
told you,
right.
if that's not in your,
That's right.
you know,
Exactly. And
'cause I got some white friends that just say they were learning this stuff, real
Exactly.
young. Like you heard about this stuff.
And that's the one thing I loved about the Dame Dash interview. No matter whether you liked how he delivered the message or not, what he's saying is important because most of the time in our community, to be like really successful economically, kids equate that to either music or sports.
Right.
That's it. So it's like business. It's impossible. Like, they don't even really think it's impossible because they don't really see that.
Right.
So he's saying like we need to start focusing more on actual business, and we need to do for ourselves and employ other people that we don't have to ask for others. And I think that's important. And so all of those I think whenever children or anybody, really adults, no matter what, can actually see that, okay, it's actually possible, like your book, that's great. I think you should try to make that a movie.
Oh, I got a couple of movie offers right now. You know, people are talking to me about a movie, but I don't really, because when I talk about my book, people already go, you're only doing it to get money and stuff like that. So whatever's going on behind the scenes, you're going to see it. It's going to come to light, and I just hope that if it just helped one kid say, listen, I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing because I don't want to be there. Or one officer saying, well, I'm not going to do this corrupt act because I see which way it could go. Right. Like, I seen the Dame Dash interview, and I like what you're doing because he was right about what he's saying, but I feel you just can't be right. You just can't say, listen, this is what you got to do. Then when somebody say, well, tell me how to do it, he didn't have an answer to tell him how to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what they said.
But
That's what they said.
You're not doing it.
That's what they said. They tell kids that's making money, stop selling drugs. Okay, so what do I do for money?
Exactly.
But you know what I'm saying?
But even to use that example, like you had a criminal situation, and that could relate to anybody, whether they was a correctional officer, whether they were selling drugs, whether they were robbing somebody. But you turned it into a positive. Did the independent thing, wrote a book about your real life experience, then shopped it to a major, probably the biggest publishing firm.
Right.
Like that's a perfect example how that's an entrepreneur spirit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As far as to take a negative, turn it into something positive, and then, like I said, who knows how big it can get.
And if they offer you a movie deal, don't feel bad. I don't care what nobody said. You earned that. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let the haters hate. Let them talk.
Let me be an extra CO in it.
I look at it like this. Goodfellas is based on a true story.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And that's one of the best movies, grossed the most money. Casino is based on a true story.
Yeah.
So
why can't we have someone on our side?
Right. Right.
And those aren't looked at down on like, oh, these guys.
Those are classics.
I'm gonna tell you something. Not to bring them up. Bernard Carrick also dropped a book the same day my book dropped. Right. And I'm just saying this. I'm not trying to down my own people, but all I get a lot of times, I got a lot of support. I got a lot of love support, but I get a lot of you snitching, you doing this, you doing that. Right.
Right. I know where you're going.
Now with Bernard, I'm not going to say what he did, what he didn't do, this and that, but he still is up on that pedestal. Now, I'm not hating on him. Hey,
that's right.
Well, whatever it is, but one, like when you said it's a page on Facebook called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly that talks about Rikers Island. And one guy, they was shooting me down, oh, you're doing this, you crumb, you this and that, you should have did life, all that. And one guy got on there and said, listen, y'all sitting there dogging this man out. Is it because he's black? Because y'all sitting there praising
Bernard Carrick.
You know,
and you know
about.
No, he was a commissioner.
He was Bernard Carrick started. He was the commissioner of corrections NYC. Then he moved over to the police commissioner under Giuliani. when Giuliani recommended him for, I think, Homeland Security, head of Homeland Security. Then, and they started digging, Homeland Security, they're gonna do a real
background investigation.
Yeah. Then it started off with him hiring illegal immigrants, and then it got into some craziness with him supposed to put what they call the listening devices, wiretaps on Janine Pirro's husband's boat. All type of crazy. It was just all type of. Then he ended up doing Fed time because he was up in Valhalla for a while because we had him up in Valhalla. But the minute he comes out of jail, and he becomes this police expert.
Absolutely.
He's on CNN,
Fox TV.
Fox News.
Yeah. Well,
but wait a minute. I went to New York City Correction Guardian function. He was there. Now he's all skinny, lost all his weight. And people was walking up to him like he was a hero.
Oh, they won't let me in the Guardian.
Yeah. But let me
walking up to him like he was a hero.
Let me let him finish up for the time sake.
Oh yeah, because we gotta get Andre.
Yeah, and want to give Andre at least a few minutes.
Yeah.
No, not a few
So
minutes.
if everybody can get a chance, definitely check the website out, the article, and we will be putting more articles up periodically.
Absolutely. Trying to do it once a month. I've been busy a little lately.
We gotta get you a better background. Now you look like you floating in the clouds, man. You gotta get you a better background.
Because he don't got a background picture, it's just his picture there.
So hopefully, we can get together and work on some.
I want to definitely get
it's
gonna happen.
We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna make that happen.
Together, we're gonna have everybody in Mount Vernon start to learn, young and old, not just the youth, but everybody needs this. And everybody needs it. That's the only way we're going to move forward and start to build our community. We need to know the economic powers and how to create even more wealth.
Segueing into the next segment, you sound like somebody who's got the community's interests, and you came to make an announcement.
Yes, I came to make an announcement, and we decided we were going to announce it tonight because it's Easter.
Resurrection Sunday.
Resurrection and a new birth.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
so
right.
I'm looking at that of what we are going to be. Oh, we got photos?
Oh, yeah. And I was supposed to do that. I got to take some too. I've been busy.
But definitely, I have thrown my hat in the ring and will be running for city council.
Yay! City council for what city? Make sure it makes it clear.
For the city of Mount Vernon.
That's right.
So hopefully we're going to go back to earning money.
Money earning.
That's right. That's right.
Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in brothers like the Money Man and everybody else, and we're going to turn the city around.
So you sound like Resurrection Sunday sound like a good day because you sound like you're trying to help resurrect Mount Vernon. So,
Always. I keep telling people Mount Vernon is the best piece of real estate in all of Westchester.
That's right.
It's just that we not using it to our full extent, you know, and we're not doing the things we need to do to be number one, and what I want to do is try to bring a community that is so divided, in so many different directions, and help to just bring it together with everybody else. That's what we tried to do with the forum. Well, not try, but that's what we did. We
did.
So we were able to bring.
I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, we brought everybody together, try to get solutions because we all know what the problems are. We can keep on going on and on and on with problems.
Right.
But when are we going to start looking at solutions? I come from a background and training of looking at facts and then a solution. I don't need the story. We take the story out of stuff.
Right.
Okay, because there's always going to be a story in everything you do when you're dealing with people. You say, okay, why were you late? Well, the train broke down, and then after that, it was snowing outside, and the cab missed, and I missed the bus. That's all the story.
Right.
All I want to know is, why were you late? I was late because X, Y, Z. I was late because I was late. Okay?
Absolutely.
And see, when you say it that way, that's what we are missing in a lot of stuff in Mount Vernon and in politics.
Right.
What we're missing is being responsible, for our actions. The integrity and responsibility is not there anymore, and we saw it yesterday because every time you turned around, it was like it was his fault. Well, he did this. Well, he did that. It's the Republicans. We only got like 3 Republicans in Mount Vernon out of 70,000 people. You know what I'm saying? It's the Republicans.
And with you saying that, what are we actually teaching the youth? What
Exactly.
are we teaching them?
Exactly.
What are we teaching them ownership? You did it. And so this brother right here, Gary, I applaud you.
Right.
One of the conversations on the table right now is the host of. I'm an educator. I come from an educational background, and the host of educators who were arrested in Atlanta.
Yes, a
straight
bunch of them.
handcuffed out
Right.
for changing the grades on exams.
They just all
right?
they went
Because
down. They
what
just all went
individuals don't understand, those exams mean that equals cash.
Yep.
Right? And so there has been, and the conversation we had today at dinner was, I have been in that place a couple of times. And the conversation that I had with the individual who was in charge of me, my boss, the kind of conversation that I had with that individual in regards to doing something wrong, I should have got fired. But I wouldn't have got fired. I couldn't get fired because I was standing up for something that was wrong. I flat out told him out. I'm not getting fired. I like doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Understand? And so to be able to stand, it takes a lot.
You know what? But the
is the
teachers
example?
shouldn't have been the only ones that went down, though. You can't take a whole bunch of tests home and all that stuff without somebody
Nah,
knowing.
but
There
it's
had to
not
be a
only teachers.
boss.
Listen, it's
Oh
not
yeah,
only
you
teachers. It's just a whole,
yeah.
it's a whole
Okay,
load of
yeah, okay.
individuals,
The
man. It wasn't
principals,
just-
because they were just going after the
this is-
teachers
no,
at first.
This is from this. No, they wasn't just going for
Yeah,
the teachers
yeah.
at first. It don't go down like that.
Yeah.
They start from the top and work their way down to the bottom. They do the Drake song backwards. So but what example are we giving to our youth? What example are you giving to the youth as a Democrat? What examples are you giving to youth as a Republican? What example are you giving to the youth?
And that's why a lot of people, and not to throw him under the bus, that's why a lot of people feel that the current mayor should have stepped down because he got convicted of a crime. And he's a convicted criminal at this point, and he's still serving as a mayor.
Well,
So he should-
technically, he could still be mayor.
No, it's not that. It's not
Right,
a matter.
right.
Of
No.
still
I
him.
I
It's
just
a
want
matter
people.
of- but like
it's
legal.
responsible,
It's
right? We got to make that clear,
But like
so,
you said,
so our listeners won't get
right? But
control.
like we said, we always use the other politician that sent the pictures of himself or something. The politician that
Well, not even that.
But he
But
stepped down.
Grimm, but Congressman Grimm, when he was found guilty, he stepped down, and he just got reelected in
So that means
this past November.
So that means while he was
Right.
going through it, they still elected him again, but he felt responsibility
Enough,
to step
right.
down
Right.
so that things could get done without the dirt. Every time because every time you mention his name, they go, and as to who was convicted of tax evasion.
Right,
Lohan-
but if he stepped down because he felt as though that he should step down, then he wouldn't have went for the seat again. So I don't understand
right, and he's running
right
again.
there.
So yeah.
Right.
So
well,
but I
it's
want to
rumors
get.
he's running. He hasn't officially announced.
He hasn't announced.
Ooh,
But
who's running again?
Ernie. Well,
Wiener
at
Man.
least that's what they say.
That's what they
Until
say.
I thought we were talking about the Wiener Man.
okay.
Well, we was using
Since we have a limited amount of time, I want to get into
let's
Andre.
get back to example.
I want to get back to
Let's
Mr.
get
Wallace.
back to Andre.
Yeah, but
So you running?
you figured it out. You got it all. All right, so
you running?
Yeah, and that's
it's
it.
a race.
The race is in November.
Right.
I didn't say when the race was.
No, it's
It's a
September.
race.
He's gonna have to.
It's for city council.
Right, you're gonna. There's gonna be a primary in September. There's 2 seats open.
And right, I'm running for a seat.
Right.
I'm not running against anybody. I don't feel that way. I run
Right.
for a open seat because
Right.
I don't look at whether I could do better than this one, that one, or whatever it may be.
Right.
I'm just looking at it in the sense that I think I have a lot to offer the city and some new, fresh
Very
ideas
good.
and a whole
Very
new
good.
direction, which I would like to work with. The current councilmen that are there and councilperson women. And see if we could just shape a new direction because the
Right.
city needs a new direction. We spoke about that before the last time we was
Absolutely.
a couple
Oh,
weeks
definitely.
ago. We need a plan. We
But-
don't have a plan. We can't keep
No.
riding on the no
But
plan
there's a
plan.
plan is fundraising.
no. Wait a minute.
and tickets. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm
no.
talking to him about the $5 million. He's not getting out of here without that. We know we
but
need
there's
$5 million.
there's a plan in place. It's just the fact that the people that's eating off the plan is not everybody in Mount Vernon. Let's be honest
Well,
about
yeah,
that.
that's-
You got
There
a
is a
point
plan
there.
in
You got a
place.
point.
I'm
See,
not
you
planning
know
for the
what,
city.
But
you know
it's
There's
a
a
certain
plan for
amount. It's only a certain group of people that's eating while the rest of the city are
Right.
starving.
Well, one thing I can say, yesterday we weren't able to give Councilman Thomas the time he wanted to discuss
Right.
some of the things he wanted. 'Cause
Absolutely.
we wanted to keep it straight on.
Absolutely.
And that's another issue, another point of what I was making, because the reason why I couldn't veer off that topic is because then our integrity would be out of place.
Right.
Because we said something. So we have what we say we have to be.
That's right.
So
that's
we
right.
can't say one thing and say this is how we're going to conduct ourselves and then let it go into all a free fall.
Right.
So that's what it is. But what he was saying and some of the points he was making, I did agree with him with a lot of things.
And I had that conversation.
Transparency is very important in our community, and he's always preaching that, and I give him credit for that. And we need to put something together and start to take a look at that, because when we were there at the forum, it was a shock. Well, not too much of a shock, but it was shocking to know that nobody sitting there knew anything about what was going on. And I'm not saying on a panel, I'm saying the actual community. They had 50 different stories, and we can't even get what's the real story.
Right.
And it was very, very, confusing to them as well. And
well, I seen this look of loss. The lady in the front row, she was sitting next to Malcolm and a couple other people. The mayor, when we asked him the question, and not to throw him under the bus, you'll see the video in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And we asked him about, and he went back to the history of Memorial Field in 1930. Like, you could just see the gloss go over her face. Like, what the? Like, she was just lost. Like,
everybody was lost.
And a young guy said, I came here, and he was in his 20s. He said, I actually am leaving here knowing less than when I walked in. And I came in.
Let me ask you a question, since you're running for office. Because I've been thinking, because I was in D.C. last week and I was in Baltimore. And it seems like anytime a black neighborhood starts to get better, it's because of gentrification.
Right.
Like, I was in D.C. and I was in Northwest, and
you were amazed.
Right.
I didn't see black people for like 2 days. Like, literally, it was crazy. It was like, and Baltimore is the same way. It's changing a lot.
Yeah.
You look at Brooklyn.
Look at Harlem. Dude,
Yeah,
I was in Harlem. I was in Harlem today with the wife, and we was at a restaurant. And when we sat down, I did not see one black person. It was, and the place was packed. Now there was black people in there when I got there, but coming through the door, I did not see one black person come through the door since we ate. We sat, we chat, and I said it was on Malcolm X Boulevard.
Yo, but I got one better for you.
Not one black person came through the door.
So my question is, that gentrification isn't always a bad thing in my opinion, but it's a problem because, I guess the upper middle class blacks, they don't want to move into those type of neighborhoods. They want to move into a white neighborhood. So the whites come into the black neighborhoods and completely changes the dynamic. So a neighborhood like Mount Vernon, which is obviously on a lower income neighborhood, how do you change that and get economic prosperity without just changing the face of the whole city? Or is that even possible? Because I haven't seen any examples.
It's possible.
That's a good question.
It's possible. And that's a question that takes a lot more time to answer because there's a lot of dynamics that go with that question. But it's very possible. First, we have to educate our people. Okay, that's the first part, and we got to show them how to become more economically, and gather what we were talking about to hold those. You're always looking at things where we have to invite. See, if we don't come together first and clean up our city, which I already started with those basic things we were doing with forums of the quality of life. If we don't get into those particular things and make people start to feel good about themselves, they're never going to go anywhere. They're never going to change. They're never going to step out that box. So we have to be able to create possibilities, okay, that people can live into. Because all of the people that's in Mount Vernon, you can take those folks and you can work with them to create jobs. You can create those good paying jobs too, so they can stay there. It's not that they have to go, and it doesn't always work out where you have to bring in all, like you say, different Caucasians into the community to make it grow. We can grow it ourselves. The problem is we don't believe in ourselves enough. Right. And we call ourselves, and I have this on my statement and, my mission that's going to be coming out. You'll be able to see it on the website coming up in this week. We call ourselves the city that believes, but we don't give anybody anything to believe in.
Absolutely.
Okay? So if you can't see it, you can't have it.
Right.
Okay? And the problem is that nobody is allowing anybody to see it. And I always tell
those that have it keeping it to themselves.
Story about Reverend Ike to everybody. Remember, some of you who are older, well, I guess we all old enough to know, but, you know, he said, you know, he came out of church after preaching. There was a woman there, saw him getting into his car. She was like, wow, that's a beautiful car. And he's like, yeah, yes, it is. She was like, wow, I could never see myself in that kind of car. He said, that's why you don't have one. But if we can't see it and we can't create those possibilities ourselves by using new leadership and those people who know how to do it,
Absolutely.
and get the people to step into their greatness rather than dance around it, okay, that's how we change it. That's how we change it. We do those different kind of things. We start to get people to take pride in their community, because I've seen it happen in many parts of Harlem as well. There's still sections that a lot of people have stayed. I remember back in the day when, you know, I made some mistakes myself. I didn't invest in the brownstones when I could have.
Yeah, that's right.
I
was talking about that to my wife today.
I got a friend that got two of them on the same street, back to back, next to each other on 135th Street. That's now worth over $1 million. You know, and I've watched that change. I've watched those things. I've been through that. I've watched Williamsburg. You know, Williamsburg. I've watched Harlem. You know, I had a business in Harlem at that time, and I've seen it change from there over. And it's not that people push me out or anything like that. It was just time for me to make a change at that point. But when we don't change, that's when we get lost. That's when we get pushed out.
Absolutely.
And we're not looking and we're not willing to change, you know, because we're scared to step out the box. And it's good to step out the box.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
You know, that's the reason why I want to talk to you about teaching and educating people in our community to step out the box, because 401ks is beautiful. But you know what? There's a whole lot of stock options and bonds and all kind of stuff they could diversify if they're willing to look at it, you know, and we have to just show them. And then after that, if you can see yourself sitting where you are in a financial position, then he could say, hey, maybe, you know what, I'm going to follow this brother, and I could do that as well. You know, I'm so proud of one of the guys I got, Philip.
Yes. Philip, you know, we quote him a lot. He's
I
very
met
good
this
man.
young man in the youth borough, and I took him on, and I thought about it. I said, you know, if everybody mentors or take on one or two guys who can, okay, he's came in, he works for me, he's my executive assistant now, does absolutely fantastic. I don't even have to tell him anything now, because I keep telling him, you know, before, I said, look, you are going to be me so I could go and do something even greater. And then when I go greater, you go greater.
Right.
And that's what we need to do. So he follows my steps, and what I'm doing, he learns, and then, you know, I can just hand it over to him. So maybe later on, I might decide, hey, I want to start going into another section of my development and all kind of thing, and he could run that business. You know,
So
and then maybe open his own business and start to bring on other people to follow.
Let me for the amount of time, how can people contact you or anything like that? And any closing remarks, because we about to run out.
Well, if they want to contact me right now on the political side, you can go to andrewallace.com.
Okay.
There is a contact page up there. This week you'll see the full website launched and all with the Facebook and everything. Mm-hmm. I'm one of the easiest people to be able to contact, you know, and you know where the building is. We're on 28 East 1st Street.
The Embassy at First.
Right, Embassy at First. You know? And you know
which is a building that you brought and rehab and used a lot of the community cast that they wrote off to build.
That is a building that we put together because I wanted to show what the youth of Mount Vernon can do. Right. And we took actually people that came out of prison that some of the courts gave me, people off the corners, off the streets, out the one stop, and we trained them in construction. And they build a building, renovated, gutted it from top to bottom, did the building over.
It's beautiful.
Okay. And then they all went on to jobs. You know, so these guys have jobs, they have careers, and they have a skill that no matter where they go in the world, they can use.
Right.
You know, and now what the building stands is, and I don't say it's my building, it's the community's building. It was by the community for the community. And that's what we need to do more
for us, by us.
Exactly. That's why I love Damon and I love this interview, you know?
We definitely going to have you back up, though, but we're going to give everybody a chance to do their last word. Very briefly, closing remarks. Damon, well, everybody else go, and then we get.
Yeah, everybody else go but me. I'll go last.
Cynthia, last remarks. Anything last?
She's shopping.
Briefly.
She's shopping.
Very briefly.
I'm trying to tell him to get in contact with you, brother.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
Very briefly.
I'm not shopping out right now, but I will be. Looking for this shirt right here. Anyway, nothing really. Everyone just have a safe holiday. A lot of children are out of school, and just because your child is out of school, that does not mean that they are on break from reading. Reading is very fundamental. Your child should at least get 2 hours worth of reading. Make sure that they read in the morning and then read later on at night. Time them. Make sure that they're on point with reading and infuse them. And make sure that instead of just going out and buying them a basket with a bunny in it and some chicks and marshmallow chicks, go to Barnes and Nobles.
These are some chicks, yeah.
And pick up the book by Gary and pick up some financial investment books for children and have them and start infusing their vernacular. So make sure that your children are reading during the holiday, and when they return back to school, all students who are in New York City public school will take the New York State exam. So they will be taking the ELA exam for 3 days straight, and then they will be taking the mathematics exam for 3 days straight after that. So
all right,
just make sure everybody's reading. Thank you.
Briefly,
I'd just like to
two
say
words or less. No, go ahead.
happy Easter to everyone. Enjoy yourself. Be safe, and enjoy the family. Today's a great day for it. I'm not going to say more than that. Go ahead.
My book is Corruption Officer. It's available everywhere. And I just want to say, anybody who older or younger, don't let prison define you. You can bounce back from prison.
That's right.
Absolutely. Rashad?
Yeah, my website, BilalGroupLLC.com. And also, I wanted to, before I forget, I'm actually doing a financial literacy workshop with the NAACP. I don't know if you know about that.
That's this month, right?
Yeah,
right.
That's April 21st in Greenberg Town Hall at 7 o'clock. So whoever.
Yeah, Lena sent me the email.
Yeah,
that's right. You are. That's right. Yeah, he's doing big things. Man.
Yes.
I just want to say, I want to thank everybody that watch our show and listen to our show. Also, just remind people that's in the White Plains area, we are on White Plains Public Access every Sunday from 3 to 5 on for Verizon and Cablevision. So check us out on White Plains Public Access, and also blackwestchester.com. Definitely, it's the news with the black point of view. Every Tuesday, AJ is on WFAS, the Bob Marone Show. What time is that?
8:30 now.
8:30, and on Wednesday, I'm on FAS, the Bob Marone Show at 8:30. Giving the views with the black point of view. For some reason, Bob always want to ask me what it feels like to be a black man. I don't understand that, but and I give it to him raw. But the whole thing is, we have to keep telling our story. It
change the narrative.
Right,
We have to tell our story.
It was amazing that News 12 confirmed and didn't come. But that's
okay, because then we're going to tell it and we're going to blast
right.
it
But
out.
we're going to tell it. But that shows the interest in Mount Vernon, or the lack of interest in us as a people.
Absolutely.
Taking responsibility for our city. Now, if somebody would have got shot in your building, Andre, they would have been there.
Day before, waiting outside. Talking about, we just heard that there might be a shooting.
Right. So I mean, that's why black media is so important.
Absolutely.
And I always say, just because I'm pro me doesn't mean I'm anti you.
Absolutely.
But what we have to understand, the need for black media, the need for us to control the narrative, the need for us to tell our story here in Westchester and enlighten the people, because in the reality of things, we're losing the race. We already started off 500 years behind, but we think that we overcame because we got a black president. But if y'all don't get it, if y'all don't watch the news, if y'all don't watch the disrespect of this man that they're giving,
they don't even call him president,
right? And they don't,
like he's
right? And
they
don't even respect his white.
Sometimes
they
you know
what I'm saying? It's like, yo, the dude.
They call him by his first name, Barack.
The dude has a white brother. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? We have to understand.
You know what I want to say, Damon, just on that News 12 thing as well. It will always be considered for all of them acceptable until we stop accepting it.
That's right. That's right.
And we have to step up now and start to say, look, this is unacceptable. And
That's
we
right.
ain't going to take it anymore. You don't want to come here for the great things, then don't come here at all.
Come in.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
See, but they don't cover
Not
nothing.
when the free drinks are going.
Right, but you know what's crazy? They don't cover anything positive, right? But yet the city will make the Journal News the official paper of Mount Vernon.
Because it's the only paper in Mount Vernon, but they did, yeah.
but see, why not make
even the Mount Vernon Inquirer?
Right, why not make the Mount Vernon Inquirer the official paper of Mount Vernon? Send a message.
Right.
You know, or make Black Westchester the official paper.
Well, they're not going to do that.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's because it's showing that, listen, we have options, and we're going to support another media source because you're not giving us the respect.
But you know what? If I disrespect you, and I disrespect you, and you keep coming back, and I keep disrespecting you.
Well, who's a fool?
Why do I have to?
Right.
What's going to make me respect you? Like at this point, why should I respect you? You're going to come to me anyway. I'm only giving 10, so you're going to, you know.
Stop accepting it.
Right.
You have to stop accepting it.
Just real quick, we're getting ready to go to the Westchester Comedy Festival.
Oh, yes.
Starting tonight. It's at the Steam House, 128 Gramerton Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, and talent will be in the house.
Absolutely.
We got to stop by there real quick.
Yeah. And I just want to say, it's blackwestchester.com, presents People Before Politics. You could be doing anything else right now, but you decided to ride with us, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Check out the website, www.blackwestchester.com. We'd like to thank all our guests for coming through. All the stories you can see on the publication. As Damon said, we're in White Plains Cable. There was a couple other things. We got an engagement coming up. We're speaking at the black men, the portrayal of black men in the media.
That's at the Radisson Hotel on the 24th.
Right.
I believe it's Jesus Christ, it's a luncheon.
Yeah.
We'll announce it next week.
We'll announce it next week.
Out the
but
email.
I just wanted to say that. But anyway, thank you for everybody. Thank you for everybody's support. With that, we're out.
The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew.